Gold production is climbing in the South Pacific, and one company is making waves in the island of Fiji. Line 1 Metals has just raised $33 million to speed up development at its Tuvatu gold mine, aiming to double output and tap into the ultra-high-grade Zone 500, where recent drilling hit 75 meters and more than 20 grams per ton. Now, with gold prices at record highs and plans to lift recoveries above 90%, Line 1 is entering a major growth phase, and it's one of the few big alkaline gold systems in the Pacific not owned by a major producer. The company generated 58 million Canadian dollars in revenue for the year ended June 2025, and is ramping up production as gold hits record prices. Well, joining me now is Ian Berzin, CEO of Line 1 Metals. Ian, thanks very much indeed for talking to us.
Thank you, Devin. It's a pleasure to get a chance to speak on CEO.CA.
Yeah, well, look, the Tuvatu gold mine is located in Fiji, which is, I guess, a lesser-known jurisdiction for a lot of people, right? What can you tell me about gold mining in Fiji?
I was like a lot of your viewers. I didn't really realize much gold mining activity, but the Tuvatu gold mine, which is owned by Lion One, is really coming from a pilot plant stage into production. Been actually producing gold for just over a year and a bit, but there's actually quite a long history of gold mining in Fiji. Our sister mine next door, Vatakula, has mined for about 75 to 90 years and somewhere between 9 and 10 million ounces. So it's pretty prolific. It's also an alkaline gold deposit. And essentially, these deposits are in the base of an old volcano. So we're about 45 kilometers away from Vatakula. We've got a large land package, and of course, we've decided to advance the Tuvatu high-grade alkaline gold mine.
Yeah, I mean, Line 1 Metals is known for bonanza-grade gold intercepts, right? Now, the Zone 500 discovery hole intersected, 75 meters at 20 grams per ton gold. What is the Zone 500 to begin with, and where is it in relation to the current mining? You've mentioned a bit about it in your previous answer.
Yeah, so our geological thesis here is if you can imagine a bit of a tree with a strong roots or base to it or trunk, and then branches up top. We're fairly high up in the structure, less than 150 meters from surface. So the analogy would be we're kind of in the branches, if you will. The hole you described, 75 meters at 21 grams, was done in 2022. It was probably the highest grade announced drill intercept in the world that year. We are currently driving 2 declines, and our declines, as we understand them right now, are about 175 meters above the top of what would be the Zone 500. So it's really a small portion of our current resource, but the grades and the mining widths we expect to be quite a bit larger. So right now we're mining some very narrow structures, several inches to a foot wide. But as we go deeper, we think that this is going to get stronger. So the 75 meters, unquestionably, we hit down dip structure, on strike, on dip, and it stayed in. So we think the true width will be quite a bit less than that. But we believe the true width may be closer to about 3.5 meters, which would still be very exciting for us.
Yeah, now let's get to this deal, right? I mean, you recently closed a $33 million financing deal. What is important? I mean, why is that so significant for the company at this stage?
Well, we currently have pretty much all the mobile equipment we need is either en route or on site to increase production at the mine. We're currently doing about 360 to 390 tons a day in the current plant. The intent is really to accelerate the declines, which are really tunnels that are going down at 15%. So once we get to the top of the zone, we'll have more flexibility in terms of working places or stopes, as we would call them. So the development is very important. We are finished. We're adding what we call a flotation plant to improve recovery in the mill by about 8% or about 6% probably, from about 82 to 88 in that range. So that will help as well in terms of cash flow. Some of the proceeds from the recent raise are going to be used also to take down our debt. We've already done a bit of that, but we have a large secured debt currently around 32 million US. And so between the money we've raised and the production on a monthly basis, which is tracking around 2.5 million US, we should be in a good position to eliminate, if not all, most of the debt come August of 2026.
Yep. And as I wrap things up, Ian, maybe just ask you, what is the most important takeaway you think an investor should realize about this initiative at the moment? What shines out?
Well, the interesting thing, the mine is built and it will be growing. So we will be expanding about double in size, almost up to 700 ton per day. But the big thing is we have a very skilled national workforce in Fiji, almost 480 nationals. They're very, very adept at mining, the mining methods we're choosing, and we're trying to go from more of a bulk mining system to more conventional mining. You could call it hand mining, but trying to utilize the skills that are inherent here in Fiji. So we do have manpower or labor force is a big attraction, and strong government support for mining in terms of the permitting process. We have our permits in place, but the regulatory regime in Fiji is actually quite strong, probably more favorable in my experience in some jurisdictions in Canada.
Yep. No, well, it certainly does sound compelling, Ian. We'll keep our eye on it. Ian Berzins is the CEO of Line One Metals. Ian, thanks indeed for talking to us.
Thank you, Devin. We'll look forward to hopefully getting back with you in the near future and talk a little bit about how we're actually turning the project around in terms of accelerating development.